Picture this. No limit to the work week, no weekends off, no sick leave, no family or medical leave. Without unions, workers had no rights on the job. Picture this. No child labor laws. Without unions, children as young as 3 years old were forced to work. Picture this. No workplace safety laws. Without unions, workers risked their lives to earn a living. From the 146 garment workers killed in the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory in New York City in 1911, to the 28 construction workers killed at the L'Ambiance Plaza in Bridgeport in 1987. Picture this. No equity or equality in education. Without unions, educators had no voice for changing conditions in the classroom. Picture this. America without unions.
Without unions, I'm just going to point out a few, just a few. Without unions, we wouldn't have weekends, right? Without unions, we wouldn't have paid vacation, FMLA, sick leave, Social Security, minimum wage, the Civil Rights Act, Title VII. We wouldn't have an 8-hour workday. We wouldn't have child labor laws. We wouldn't have OSHA. We wouldn't have a 40-hour work week. Just to name a few, we wouldn't have employer health insurance. We wouldn't have collective bargaining rights. We wouldn't have wrongful termination. We wouldn't have whistleblower protections. Without unions, we wouldn't have sexual harassment laws. We wouldn't have privacy laws. We wouldn't have paternity leave or pregnancy leave. We wouldn't have public education for our children. You see, without unions, we wouldn't have the Equal Pay Act of 1963 or 2011. See, without unions, we wouldn't have the levels of equality that we have today. We wouldn't have the prosperity in this country that we have today.
Now picture this. With their union, AFT Connecticut members have made real progress over the past year. In Hartford, teachers and paraprofessionals united with parents and neighborhood advocates to beat back takeovers and privatization of community schools.
On behalf of the teachers, the parents, the students, and the city of Hartford, the sham that is trying to be put onto Clark School is despicable. Our children are much more important. I praise the parents and the teachers for what they are doing to stand up for their rights, the rights of their children, and the rights of this community. Shame on whoever is taking that away from them.
Poverty affects our children. They are the weakest and the most deprived. It affects them in their home lives and in their education. And until we get rid of poverty, America will truly not move forward. As Martin Luther King said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter.
We are not afraid. At the Capitol, state workers were recognized for partnering with elected leaders to achieve cost savings and preserve their families' health care benefits.
When we come into bad times, there are no better friends than our unions to sit down with and work together to get a solution done. And you have always come up with it, and it's tough.
In New London, caregivers reached out to patients and their families, civic and political leaders, to preserve access to their community hospital and its health services.
During difficult times, you have stood by the caregivers of Lawrence and Memorial.
You have supported our efforts to reach a fair resolution with hospital leadership.
We now have a blueprint for a better relationship.
To our community, political leaders, and supporting union brothers and sisters, we say thank you for your support.
That is what you do as well as any hospital in the United States of America.
Now picture this, a very different Connecticut in the future. One without unions, one that looks more like Wisconsin does today. That's the picture that some politicians and talking heads, and the CEOs, hedge funders, and billionaires who back them see for our future. Picture a better Connecticut that is not Wisconsin. Pledge to get involved and get active in your workplace and your community today.